What's going on, guys? My name's Nick. I won the Niagara regionals over here in Canada, and I took it down with Frieza today. Went 6-0 throughout all my matches. I'm gonna show you the deck real quick. So of course, standard. We have 4 super combos. Chill, just whatever's blinged out. I was able to get most of the stuff blinged out. We have 4 sorbets, just typical cantrip. I didn't want to play any searchers. I ended up cutting Zarbon just because it was like whiffing too much of like the changes to the deck. But yeah, it's good because you needed to have it on the board for the game package. Same thing with like the Frieza. Like you play the Frieza, obviously to rest because in the mirror match it's super important, but you definitely have to have like a 1-drop just sometimes. Like I actually killed somebody today with this card. It's super clutch. We play 4 Bulma. This card is just absolutely ridiculous. The fact that they printed this with all this text, like activate battle, take a life, you can either draw a card or rest one of their guys. Like it comes up so often that like this card just gets infinite value. And people see this and they would just like treat it like it's a plague and they just like swing at it. So you can always guarantee like it'll eat a swing as well. I played a spicy 1 of today. This actually, like, granted, I didn't play against a whole ton of greens, so maybe that's why, but this card just ended up never getting played. It just stuck in my head as a 10K, so it was alright. Standard for Frieza, Self-Awakeners. We got the 4 knees. The reason why we play these over the Zarbon simply because it's 10K. Yeah, late in the game you can't play it because it's a mandatory take a life. So if you go down to 1, like you just simply can't play the card. But 10Ks are so important in the game that you just have to play it. Unfortunately, it doesn't meet the requirement as a Frieza army, but we play other stuff to mitigate that. We do play the 4 Ginyus. Just like it's been good since set 1. This card you can just free play it if it's the 3rd. Frieza army on the board. We do play 2 birders. Honestly, like that Kui is probably gonna become a 3rd birder just because like the card just it creates so much consistency in the deck. Because when you play the whole Ginyu package with like Raccoon, you just want to be able to play a card off this. And since I don't play 1-drop Ginyus anymore, and like if you don't see a 2-drop Ginyu or you already play one for the turn, like you just need another option. And like birder was always there, and like it's a 10K and it's just really consistent card. Probably one of the most like underrated cards of the day was Vegeta, because I couldn't tell how many like times that I put this down, and Frieza is usually like untaps too, and how many times I just left my board rested against like U7 or whatever the case was against Brawly, because they just can't KO by effects when your cards are in rest mode. So I would just like leave them there protected, and being able to like obviously on play take a life just like the Raccoon, and then it spits out the Bulma, so it's like a 3 cost like 6 to 4 life awaken, and you get to like draw off the Bulma when you swing with this. It's just way too much value. How many blowout games I had just like doing that combo.
Would you ever play 4 of them?
So I've highly considered it. The problem is like I'm also like the Ginyu package is just like a little bit better in the sense where like because you're an aggro deck. So like this is one of those cards that you play it once, you might play it twice, but you never really play it after that. So it's one of those things like 3 is always that number. When you want to play the card once, maybe twice, and see it on curve, like 3 is always a magic number. It is a 5K, but I ended up like pitching it for combo power a lot of times. I played 3 cooler. I wouldn't play more or less. It's just so clutch in the mirror match. Like this, if you guys saw my game on stream, my game 6, like this card put in so much work. It just bullies the mirror match. It does really good into U7. You never play against blue because they're just gonna sickle it, and it feels really bad if they sickle this card. And against green, like it has its situations, but this card is just like so good. It's a blocker you can restand. Like it will rest something else on block or on swing. Just a card that I think will be good for a long time. Best card in yellow, like I said, Grant said it. Probably one of the best cards in the game is this Goku. It's a 10K combo. Like 25K beater, so it swings into like the 25K leaders just fine. On play and swing, you stun something, and like you'll just keep their board locked infinitely. It's like in every matchup this comes up, and it's just probably the best card in the deck. I play 2 Friezas. These are your finishers, right? Just the perfect number. You want to see it. Sometimes you don't even need to see it, right? Because you're spamming 20K so much that like you just beat people by swarm. But sometimes this card does come up where it's just like on curve can be really impressive, like swinging double strike. If you want to take them from 5 to 3, you want to just sometimes I'll just take them from 4 to 2 and then like double strike them again the following turn. Like 2 is always the perfect number, and I think I would definitely keep it at that. A card that I was playing this at 4 because I was so deathly afraid of playing against green that like you have to just see more 6-drops than they do 8-drops. But I ended up saying like, first of all, no combo power, and I didn't want to sacrifice the consistency in the deck. So like I took 1 out at the end of the day and ended up like making that whole like extra part of the Ginyu package, and I think it paid off. 3 is a really good number. It's probably the sweet spot.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us about your matchups and what's your hardest one of the day?
Dude, I ran the gauntlet. I played against a different deck every single round. Round 1, I played against Beerus. Round 2, which is probably my hardest matchup, was Brawly. Nat's probably one of the guys I play against the most, and he plays Brawly. And it's always just a tough matchup being a 25k leader and posing the threat of just like big bombs at the end of the game that will just close out so fast. That was definitely the hardest matchup. It came down to he used his leader effect, popped an energy, and drew a card, and that card was just something he couldn't play to finish me off, and I ended up winning on the crackback. So Brawly was definitely the hardest matchup today. Game 3, I played against the Yellow Vegeta. That was also really close. That guy was super nice. He gave me a lot of credit for my plays. Game 4, I went up against Blue Vegeta. That one was also pretty close, but like I felt confident in the matchup. 5 was U7. That one also I felt really well about, just because like I was able to stall his awakening. Now that they don't have Roshi, like Red just has such a hard time awakening. Like I can count like their energy, know when they can awaken on what curve, and I was able to just stall his awakening, beat up his Android 17s, and just play like the long game with him. And then my final matchup, as you guys saw on stream, was the Frieza. That was a little one-sided. I did get to go first, which I think is, I don't know why, but we were talking about it. It's just in the mirror match with Yellow. I think going first is just better. Just something about the way the flow of the game works and the curve of playing cards and awakening. It just is a lot better to go first. But yeah, like I said, I ran the gauntlet today. I played against pretty much everything I was expecting to play against, except for Android 17. That's actually very relevant. I didn't play against any Android 17s today. But I did end up playing against Brawly at least, and at least a few Yellow decks. But regardless, I had a great time. Thank you for all my friends for driving up here. It was a long drive, man. I drove like, what was it, 11, 12 hours it took to get up here. It was crazy, the traffic, but you know, we made it. We got some decent sleep, I guess, and showed up to the event and just started playing, man. So it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate it. You know, I got to win my first regional. I've topped a lot of times before. I was never able to win, so it feels good to be able to have one under my belt.
Awesome, and I guess final thing, is there any changes you would make, and do you think this is the best deck in the format?
I would take probably just the Kui is the only thing I would change out. Maybe play another Birder and something like that. But the deck's pretty consistent otherwise. As far as the best deck in the format, it probably is. You can argue Android 17 is the best deck in the format, and I can see a really good argument for that, because that deck is just insane. But it comes down to if you play just like your rush package better, like they're gonna struggle. So yeah, it was probably between this or Android 17, but you can argue this is, yeah, probably the best deck in the format.
Awesome, cool. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.